Hey yo guys, how's it going? Just a little update here since we are starting kind of a new node. I was trying all the intermittent fasting and everything. Just by the way, this is Christy. If you're just new here, following along with my ADHD journey to, control cravings, keep my routines in process, just like what I do. Right now, I'm working on diet and exercise. I'm starting the process of quitting marijuana, which I have smoked since I was 19 years old. I do have the ability to have a medical marijuana card. My spine is a wrecking ball away from complete disaster, and only because of yoga and keeping my weight maintained, muscle strength and stuff like that is actually the only reason that my legs work and my arms work. I have so many damaged spots in my spine that if I don't do those kinds of things, I start getting twitches and spasms in both my arms and my legs to the point where I can't sleep. I can't lay down comfortably. So like even being bedridden wouldn't necessarily be like a comfortable or happy solution for me. So I kind of have that additional motivation to stay fit because I don't have a choice. Anyway. So I was doing all this intermittent fasting. I tried a couple diet trends, the low carbs, the carnivores, and things like that, mostly last year in short little bursts. But I was still doing kind of like an intermittent fasting. And it was sort of getting frustrating. I was hitting plateaus. And so I'm going onto a full kind of like undieting mode. And you want to be careful how you do that. You don't want to just drop your diet. If you just start eating normally again like how you used to, you will yo-yo, you will shoot up to the moon. This is what happens to people when they get frustrated. They diet, they get frustrated, they hit a plateau, they quit, they gain more weight than they ever had before. We don't want to do that. So what I did last week, actually about 2 weeks ago, I picked up a high volume salad that also was kind of high fat. It had 9 grams of fat per serving, but it was sort of low calorie, high volume. We still were hitting right in that 200 or under range. I was obsessed with it. I still kind of low-key am, and it tasted really good. It got me hooked on it. It hit all the buttons for my ADHD, and otherwise I was eating regular, minus I turned a lot of my dinners into cabbage salads because I already have the cabbage shredded in the the refrigerator. So if I ever want to pull out some cabbage, I'll shred some carrots in it, put some little green onions. It turns it into like a high fiber salad, and then I just throw whatever protein with it. Like tonight we're having taco salad, so I got 93% lean beef, which I normally don't. So we're upgrading that as far as the fat content goes. And I'm going to use about a half a cup of that in like a cup and a half of the cabbage. Probably put, 2-3 tablespoons of the non-fat Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Maybe some cheese if I'm feeling feisty, and some of my really good salsa. They're not like, I'll be honest, like as tasty as the super high fat meals, but they're hitting the spot. What they're doing is it's filling my stomach with volume and not allowing my brain to feel hungry ever. I've been eating all day today. I had my cabbage salad again. I've been doing also those steamed eggs, which is incredibly filling. And now what I've been doing is basically working on taking those macros down a notch. So what I did is I took my crab salad and fixed it so it had fat-free cream cheese in it, made sure that it's prepped and ready in the refrigerator. I have a gigantic bowl of this stuff with crab, shrimp. It now has 2 grams of fat with otherwise pretty much the same macros as it did before. So now today I've had my crab salad. I had a giant collagen-rich hot cocoa that I made on the side with some good adaptogen mushrooms. I'm even letting myself have coffee, but it's in here. I'm allowed to have coffee, just not very often, or my stomach bleeds from the insides and I start getting anemic, and we can't let that happen again. But I stopped taking my amino acid powder also because that causes inflammation for me. I get energy, but I also get burnt out, but I also get inflammation from it, and it's just actually a bit of a nightmare. It's fine if I need to kick the horse to get like up and at it if I'm like really feeling tired and sick, but it's not something that's good for me long term. So the amino acids are on the shelf where they should be, being untouched. So now that I've done the macro fix today, with the taco salad, with the crab salad, I made an entire bowl of air pop popcorn with the Orville Redenbacher has an air popper that pops it like a fountain from the center, and then there's a dome bowl over it, and then you just turn the whole bowl over, so it's air pop popcorn that doesn't get all over your counter, and I love that. So I had an entire bowl of that. What else did I eat today? I've been eating pretty much all day, but only my good macro high volume food. And by the end of today, I should be hovering right around 1,200 calories. So that is still just as much as a deficit as it was when I was fasting. Now the difference is the volume. What we want to have is my body feeling like it has to constantly be digesting and processing food. I want my metabolism on overdrive. I want it constantly thinking it's got to reach in there and just grab those calories. I want it to take as many calories to digest everything that I'm eating as possible. And another thing that I want is my stomach to feel full all the time. And what that does is it compresses your vagus nerve, which helps reduce cortisol in your system, so you're also less stressed out. And so that's all kind of working together. I've been super duper full all day long. I'm having chocolate and everything. Like I said, things don't taste quite the same, but it's still pretty good still. It's edible is what I like to call it. And I'm a very picky eater, so when I say edible, it's usually pretty elevated as far as diet food goes. My totals for today was like just over 1,200 calories. Now that is actually still a deficit. You know, they say if you want to lose weight the best, you want to have a lot of high volume food, but that kind of deficit can actually cause energy dips. So to compensate for that, not only am I making sure there's lots of protein in there for one, I am not holding myself to a 1,200 calorie a day deficit. If I want to go eat any of my macro friendly foods, I can eat them. In fact, today, I reached in the fridge and I grabbed a chicken thigh and I ate it, bone-in roasted chicken thigh. The only difference, I normally eat the skin on it. I skipped the skin, you know. So anytime I want to go in and dive and have like some pure protein or some more, almost anything that I want, I'm allowed to have that, because in an undiet, when you're undieting, you do want to slowly increase the calories, but in a macro friendly way. You don't want to just go back to eating cheesecake and fried eggs and bacon. That is literally how you undiet the wrong way. But what we're trying to do is spark the metabolic rate. What we're trying to do is spark the vagus nerve, and we are doing that so far. I have also added back my beef organ vitamins because there's so much bionutrient available food in there, and it's just right there. It's freeze dried. It has beets in it too, so there's all sorts of little macronutrients and micronutrients in there, and antioxidants, energy boosting compounds that are good for you. And I do believe that that's going to help as well. So I'm going to go ahead, and I mean, there's just so much crab salad anyway that I'm probably just going to keep eating that for lunch every day, and you know, doing the cabbage salad swaps for dinners as often as possible. I'll keep you updated if I start increasing. I know I'm not going to try to decrease my calories. And otherwise I'm continuing doing calisthenics and sort of like the somatic movement again, where it's just like free flow. It looks kind of just like dance, but I kind of do like a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit more, nothing's really making me pop a sweat with that. It's just helping loosen my shoulders and my neck muscles, I notice. My hips have been lined up better. And then just free form on the calisthenic bars until what I'm trying to work on, and I'm not very good at, I'm kind of wimpy that way, is pushing every single exercise until I max out on it. Instead of quitting as soon as I feel the muscle getting worked, I want to quit each move as soon as I'm actually not able to do the move anymore, as soon as I've done it as many times as possible, possibly I don't know, broke in a sweat. Things could happen. It could get wild. I don't know. I'm not you know, as much as I love fitness, and I've always loved fitness, I was in, you know, color guard and dance and all these other things like that. I've never been big on like being one of those extreme fitness people who's just like push it to the limit, you know, like I'm more of a walk it down the road kind of girl. So I'm going to try to fight that and actually push it to what I call the limit more often. Cheers to pushing it to the limit, guys.